record. Hello, everybody. It's very nice to see you back for our social work peer support hour. How's everybody gone this week with research? I'm keen to hear from you. So, Anne-Marie, we might start with you because we so missed you last week, but we did gossip about you.
Yeah, no, I got some practical stuff done, which was actually really good of going and talking to people. So because there's the 10,000 hours project that's happening like alongside what I'm doing. Um, and that's what actually funds my research. And they're hoping to come and visit the childcare centre up here. And the information had been sent and they'd got no reply. So I'd gone to see them, but the actual director is away. But they actually had quite a lot of local Indigenous people down there working where they've been really short staffed and having to close the centre and that
Wow.
sort of thing. So it was really good and had a yarn with some of them. And then there was a 5-year strategic planning meeting that the council had, and I went along to it just as a community member. But one of the things in that was they had, apart from the childcare, because they run the childcare centre, apart from them having, retaining and um, recruiting staff, they didn't have anything else about early childhood um, stuff at all. They did have a little bit about wanting kids to experience the same sort of childhood as they did. I did point out to them that, the, I know, amount of struggles people are having had the sort of childhood well, not necessarily they had, but definitely white cat. And so their experience of childhood would be very different to what a lot of the populations
Yeah.
is. So then I wrote them a letter with a bit more information and that sort of thing. So when they do their next draft, hopefully they include a bit more stuff about wanting to have strong, thriving kids in their community. And I went to First Five Forever, and um, it's a program the Queensland Library does, but the little libraries employ somebody to do it. But the lady who was doing it was really good, and they had like paint and all sorts of stuff out for the kids in the library, and he had good
Not dangerous.
good stuff underneath, but she just let the kids explore it and do the whole sensory thing in the paint and stuff. So yeah, it was really good.
That's wonderful to hear. So, two comments there. Your first meeting and people wanting current children to have the childhood that they had, isn't that a beautiful example of white privilege?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And like white people often don't even think of that. Yeah. So that was my first comment. Second comment is, can you use any of this to go into your research? Like, will it inform your methodology chapter or will you write about it somehow? Because this
Yeah,
is
no, well, they've told
fascinating.
me to like keep a spreadsheet. Well, I haven't done a spreadsheet at this stage. I've just got it on a.
Oh, she's frozen. Yep. Oh, no, she's frozen. Yep. We've lost you,
Might have
Anne-Marie.
her phone.
Sorry.
But she might have to use her phone, the hotspot.
People be
Oh, there she is. She's back
interviewing.
again. Yeah, you froze, Anne-Marie.
Oh, okay. Oh yes, that just told me my internet connection is unstable. Um, yeah, but the having Aboriginal people in the people that I'm interviewing, you've got to show that you do consultation and everything, even about what your topic is. So, like being out and talking to people is needed ahead of time for that. And
Yeah,
so for getting ethics approval and that sort of thing, that's will be
yeah.
used in that as well. But the other thing is that things are sort of evolving along the way. Like I knew I wanted to use a strengths perspective and that sort of thing, but um, I've been doing a fair bit of reading. I found a book that's got it's about using a strengths perspective, but it's in international aid. And the stuff in the book is really relevant to communities that are I know under-resourced, got lots of disadvantage and that sort of stuff. And I sort of was thinking I need to, and you do.
Whoop, she's frozen again. Yeah. This is one of the problems of living in rural and remote places.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also our weather often controls our.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really wanting to swap to NBN. I might have mentioned that last time. Like, I'm so uncomfortable having Elon Musk sitting on my
Oh,
roof.
Skylink.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not comfortable with it at all. But it does give me better internet. I have to admit that.
Then NBN.
Better than NBN. Well, better than NBN that I've ever had. Oh, here she is.
Yeah.
She's back again.
I'm
Yeah,
back again, yes.
yeah. Sorry,
Uh,
Mary. Yeah.
yeah, so of focusing instead of doing like strengths and difficulties or the challenges, barriers and that sort of thing, to be future focused and work on strengths. And so my heart gets that, but my head doesn't quite get that because I'm sort of going, no, but that's sort of making people responsible for systems issues. But I'm working on it. I figure I've got to read the whole book.
Can I offer a suggestion?
Mm.
Draw it. The departing radically from academic writing. Oh my
Yep.
God, I'm in love.
Oh, very good. I'm
So,
glad. I reckoned it would connect with you.
oh, I have just swallowed it up like it's custard. Like, it is just beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
Very.
And Liz McKinley,
Yeah, she's lovely, isn't she?
she's the best. So she said to say hello to you.
Yes.
I said that I had put her forward as a potential marker, an
Yep.
assessor for my thesis. And I said, now I don't know if this will now disqualify that because I've come to the session. And she said, oh, I don't think so. It's not like we know each other personally or I'm reading any of your work. But I will check on that if your supervisors contact me.
Yeah.
I loved the whole thing. So Doug, Draw is departing radically from academic writing, and it's a
You've
style.
got
Oh,
yours
yes,
too.
that's right. Yes, that's
I'm
right.
going to
Yes.
I'm going to collect
Royalties.
royalties.
Yes.
Spreading
Yeah.
the word.
Or they'll put you onto commission. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I haven't. I've only just briefly had a scan through it, because I'm still really early into what I'm wanting to do. But
Yes.
I'll definitely have a look and see where I can take some hints and some
Ideas.
guidance.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it might be chapter 4, and the
Mm.
author is Mel Green. And she talks about, she wrote a letter to herself as
Yep.
part of the process of went into her thesis.
Mm.
So I went, oh my God, I'm going to write a letter to Gramsci telling him that I'm coming to Rome to, launch my book at his site where he's buried. Uh,
Mm.
so during the draw session, which I think is at an hour, half an hour, a discussion, half an hour, I wrote my letter to Gramsci, and it started off really informally. No, other way around. It started off formally, like, dear
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Gramsci.
formally,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. But the more I got into my own language, it was, my dear Gramsci, I so wish that we could be enjoying a cup of herbal tea together. And that was interesting to me, that reflection of how quickly I moved away from the academic into the heartfelt connections. Yeah. So my conclusion includes my letter to Gramsci and also a manifesto, which is another idea that I took from the book. So a manifesto, I had always associated a manifesto with the crazies, because that's when you hear about their manifestos. Somebody just did a mass shooting and we found their manifesto. Like, well, okay, I don't want to go near that.
Oh, so you're calling Marx and Engels crazies.
Yes, yeah, well, that's right. See, Marx, the Communist Manifesto. Like, yeah, but you have to remember that I am the product of capitalism. Like, my
Yes.
my father was an army officer, my mother did missionary work, right? So I've got these two institutions of social control that greatly influenced my thinking. So when I first went to uni, anything to do with Marx, and now look
Mm.
at me, I'm doing a PhD on a Marxist. Yeah, and I'm
Yes.
in love with him. Yeah, yeah, it's really funny. But yeah, a manifesto was nothing more than a collection of thoughts. So
Mm.
it is draw. It departs radically from academic writing. Now, all of you know that I'm a craftivist, which is the marriage of craft to social activism. So I use craft as a medium for educating and for getting a message out, for helping people to take notice, because I'm also into non-violent action. As much as I'd like to thump some people, I never actually would do it. Yeah.
Or assassinate.
Yeah, or assassinate. Yeah. You missed that conversation, Anne-Marie. Yeah, so I can say the words, but I would never actually do it, right? And I have a manifesto sitting over here of one of the craftivists that I have followed for a very long time. So her PhD was a manifesto. Yeah. So this, Anne-Marie, I cannot thank you enough, but I also want to slap you because you didn't push me enough to get me to go there quicker.
Yeah, no,
So
they're so good, and yeah, there's quite a few ideas that Liz has shared that, yeah, because sometimes there'd just be her and I on the morning shut up and write thing last year, and because that time really, yeah, it sort of suited me
better
to,
in
to do
evening.
do
Yeah.
things. But
Yeah.
I am going to try and get there this week. Yeah, because I do enjoy the conversations as well. So that Mel Green, I don't know if she was on your thing, but she reads stories beautifully and
Mhm.
does the so taking a children's story and I'm not, well, analyzing it, but also using it um to build other writing.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's
Yeah, the
really
springboard. Yeah.
yeah, so I actually got the old turtle and the broken truth, and I'm sort of using that as part of my, or making reference to it throughout the thing, because the whole thing with the broken truth was, it crashed to earth, it went everywhere, everybody thought they had the whole truth because
That's when the story wants to come out.
Yeah, that's right. We're talking about the truth, so they cut her off. That's the broken truth there. This is
That's
interesting.
oh, what was it?
works really
Oh,
quite
she's
well.
back again. Here she is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you were talking about the truth and they cut you off, girl.
Yeah, you can't talk about the truth, hey. It's a dangerous thing. But yeah, the the idea of the all different truths works well for seeing things through different lenses and that sort of thing as well.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we talked about that at the book club as well, with
Oh,
the
yes,
the
yeah.
multiple views. And
Mm,
I've actually thought a lot about that poem that we did at book club.
mm.
Yeah. I
It got into my head.
I know. That is evidence, I think, that it was a good poem. But I kept thinking about it in relation to draw. Like, what did he mean by some of the words that he used? Like, what
Yeah,
am I missing? So it became really reflective for me. Like, what am I not picking up on? Now, I'm sure those numbers mean anything. The black and the number 13, because there was 13 stanzas. What is he trying to convey here with the thin men as well? Like,
yeah.
yeah, is there a message? Yeah. So, Doug, how about you? How have you gone this week with all of the research?
I had my meeting with Izelle
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Wednesday. That happened. Yes, Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
That was quite well, quite
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And I
Isn't
signed
she
up to
lovely?
her
She's just the best, that woman.
Kickstarter group workshop.
Yeah.
The 30% off one
Yeah.
this morning at 3 o'clock this morning. I
Yeah.
signed up to
Yeah.
it.
So when does that start?
It's I think it goes for about a month. It's online on demand,
Yes.
so it might last longer, but the slides are only up there for a month.
Okay.
So if you and the 30% off is only for 48 hours. So
Yeah.
today and maybe tomorrow might be your last chance to get it for $70.
I've bought the entire package.
Hey,
What is this?
which one?
I bought the mentoring package.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
So
can't afford that. That's too much.
yeah, it was expensive, but given that I've only got 4 months to finish my thesis,
Yes.
I needed more than my supervisors can possibly give because they've got such a big teaching load. So Anne Marie, this is complete thesis support.
Dot
Okay.
com.
It's very, very good. So inside, well, you both know that I used to operate Kajabi, and that was how I collected all of my data, was through Kajabi. She also operates Kajabi, and she's got all of her videos, training videos in there. So you have to pay to be a member to access the videos, the community. She runs about, I don't know, maybe it's 4 online support sessions a week. Oh, they're invaluable. This, for me, this is like being back in Tara's group. And that's what I have missed so much.
Mm.
So this is once a week, but I need more to get me through so that I'm handing in to the editor in June. Yeah, so I think, oh, I don't want to tell you how much it costs, but it was a lot of money. But I have this wonderful husband that, darling, if you want me to feed you, I'd really like you to pay for this because I'm not earning much money at the moment. I have a few supervisees left and I have my stipend. So there's no way I could have
Uh,
afforded it. Yeah, I just couldn't have
that's
done it.
why I did the mini Kickstarter
Yeah,
one um, this morning.
yeah,
So it's only a 1 hour worth of training,
yeah.
video and all that, but it comes with 5 lessons and stuff you can download. And she doesn't want you to pass it on to your friends because um, she wants them to get the most out of it, like we are.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's the support that she
Mm,
gives that backs it all
yeah.
up. Right? And she is so wise. She's a neuropsychologist
Yeah.
from a lab. So she's a scientist. Yeah. Fascinating woman. Absolutely wonderful. But it's little tiny things that I pick up on that really I should know. And possibly once upon a time I did, but
exactly.
life gets in the way. So up here I've written avoid starting a sentence with this and it. So I know my own language is this supports that. This
I'm
is
a good this
illustrative of,
person.
yeah, this person.
You've got
Yeah.
to say
So
what this is.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm really good because I suffer from verbosity in my writing as well. You know, this I now have to go, no, you've got to make it bigger, Megan. You have to actually say what this
This
is.
is,
Yeah.
and it, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's something that the editor in my book writing, um, it was really good because in the first book she taught me lots. In the second book, there was hardly anything for her to fix because she taught me well in the first
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so when I published Bits of Caramel Marmalades, the editor picked me up on my use of apostrophe or my non-use of apostrophe often. You know,
Yeah.
I would put them in the wrong places, and I have never made that mistake again. So yeah,
Yeah.
it is that feedback that is invaluable. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. But good for you, Doug, and thank you for sending the notification through to both Anne Marie and myself. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but I had already joined.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought you might have, because you
yeah,
might have already got the email from her for being signed up in the first
yeah.
place.
Well,
Yeah.
if I had, I hadn't looked at it because
Okay.
when I got your stuff, it was the first I
Yeah.
had looked at it. Yeah, yeah. But what
Yeah,
else is
but
happening
I'd
this week for
also
you?
thought about dropping out of everything on Saturday. I thought, well, bugger it. Just didn't have any motivation or any. I just couldn't be bothered.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all I have to do is the script for the confirmation and do that in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah,
So I've sent in the paperwork to do that and a horrible photo of myself. um, but I've done the slides. I've just got to do the script, which I might shrink down to just a few keywords and just dribble on. Um, but
yeah.
yeah, Saturday night I just hit the wall and I thought, bugger it, I can't be bothered. Couldn't even be bothered watching TV.
So, Doug, the COC is really it's climatic.
It is.
Like it's you put so much work into it. I think as much work goes into that as it does the actual writing of the PhD,
Yeah,
because this is what tells you, are you accepted by the university for your
yeah.
PhD or not? Yeah,
And I
so
don't
it's
think
huge.
I have the encouragement from my supervisor at the moment.
Yeah,
And she said in the last meeting we had last Monday that I might need two active supervisors.
yeah,
Like
okay.
when I get my associate, the
Yeah,
associate usually takes a back pedal,
correct. Yeah.
but she said I might need a second active supervisor.
And is that because she
She didn't
is so
say.
busy?
I don't know.
She's teaching, isn't she?
No, she's the director of the institute.
Oh, so she's not teaching directly. Yeah,
No,
okay. Yeah,
just research and
yeah,
supervision.
yeah. I wonder if maybe Azelle could fill that role
Mm,
naturally for at least for a month while you've got that subscription. But yeah,
yeah.
this is a hard one.
Mm,
Look, I would love to have weekly supervision again. That was what Tara and I did. It
yeah.
was every week. It was only half an hour,
Yeah.
but it was
That's all.
touch base. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she used to read my stuff each week. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so she'd send it back with comments, and then we wouldn't discuss that. She would expect that I've made the corrections. We'd discuss other things in that half an hour. Right. That worked for me.
Mm,
And look, my two supervisors are very good and very knowledgeable, but they're as busy as shit because they
yeah.
both have high teaching caseloads. So we're having an hour a month.
Mm.
Yeah. It's, Doug, I feel for you.
Yeah.
But what I do is, and I think you've probably seen my video where I imagine somebody that I admire standing in front of me and I step into it, right?
Yeah.
So I do that also with Dr. Bayliss. So I see Dr. Bayliss in her beautiful floppy hat, you know, at the floppy hat
Mm.
parade.
Yep.
And I step into it, and then I put my hands, one on my frontal cortex, one at the back here,
Yep.
and I do it again. I imagine it, because what I'm doing is that I'm wrapping the two hemispheres of my brain together.
Was that
And
the thing that Adele talked about? No, cat.
she did,
Was
yeah.
it cat?
Oh, it could have been Kate. Yes.
Kate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now that's where I got it from, because I
Yeah.
had never done that before. But the explanation about bringing the two hemispheres together as you are imagining what it is
Mm.
that you want to feel, right? That is just brilliant. So I have actually now written out my little statement card that I
Yep.
bring up, I imagine, with all of the senses, and I do this. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to graduate in Norway. Get have a
I
top
get
hat
the
and a
sword.
sword.
Yes. How cool is that? Did you know that, Anne-Marie, that in
No,
Norway?
I didn't.
Yeah, yeah. It's such a beautiful thing. But their examination process for the PhD is totally
In front
different.
of the whole community.
Yeah. So they get questioned on their PhD, and you have to defend it verbally in front of a live audience.
You earn your sword.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
just empower yourself before you go in and say, "Oh, it's too late. I've got my sword. I'll just end it now."
Yeah, it's interesting how each country does
Mm.
their examinations and their graduations differently. Like, it's fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, we're starting to get the oral exam in a lot of places in Adelaide, not Adelaide, Australia.
Yeah. Is that
Don't know if Charles
called
Darwin has it yet.
a
Is
Viva?
it vote something voce or Viva
Oh,
Voce?
yeah, I thought it was a Viva. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Viva,
But that's
yeah,
also
or
what your
Viva,
mile, a what?
Viva.
Viva. Viva. Okay. That sounds like Vyvanse. Isn't that a drug for depression or sleeping or something? Yeah. Maybe that's what we all need.
Mm.
Your milestones, though, are all oral. So your
Mm.
COC is oral. Yeah, that's the one you're currently panicking about. But Doug, you
Not
talked a
panicking
lot.
yet because I want to get the script done and roughly recorded by Wednesday when it's still 28.
Yeah.
Because here's the 30s again
Oh,
today,
you melt.
35 tomorrow,
Yeah.
then up to 34 on the
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
So I want to have the script, the speech recorded and trialed, and then I'll see if I have to do it again and send it up, and just in case there's a technical difficulty on the day.
Yeah. And there will be. There always
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Because we get nervous. So often we make the technical difficulty
Mm.
because we can't remember what the process is. Like, oh,
Yeah.
which side of the mouse do I click?
Yeah. And Zell pointed out something that when you go to share, on the right side of it is share sound,
Correct.
and that's probably what made your vocal bits not work during your
Yeah.
the high degree
HDR conference. Yes.
that's the word.
That, yeah, that is what it is. But I had clicked it, but
Yep,
because I was nervous and I was
yep,
rushing because I just walked in the door,
yeah,
I either double clicked it that took it off, or I didn't click right on it because it didn't
yeah,
work. Yeah. But that's okay. You just have to go
yeah,
with
with the
the
flow.
flow. Yeah. It didn't work. Okay, it didn't work. What a shame. I'm so sorry you can't hear how brilliant my supervisees, not my supervisees, my participants were. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And Anne Marie, they didn't get to hear your voice because you were one of the ones.
No.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Devastating.
Yeah. But look, the milestones are designed, I think, this is my thoughts based on nothing except from what I have observed. The milestones seem to be a kinder way to get you to the end than all of a sudden at the end having to defend the entire process.
Yeah.
But God, if I had to ever produce my research diaries, I have several, I've gone through a couple of them. But so I still handwrite things. Like this is, and nobody else would understand my handwriting. I'm not, because I didn't grow up with computers, I'm not the person who does everything on spreadsheets. So Anne Marie having to put everything on spreadsheets now to show that she's done the consultations, I'd be doing it old school style. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of my notes and that I actually write in like sketchbooks, drawing books in pencil.
Yeah.
Because I like the feel.
Yeah.
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 It's yeah. So yeah, I don't often even use pen and paper. I use pencil, and I know it's not
The darn thing anymore.
okay with the
Yeah.
thing, but yeah, it's how my brain works. If you've got it, yeah.
See, that's something you could put in your methodology chapter. Because in your
Okay.
methodology chapter, they want to know about you. Who are you?
Yeah.
What did you learn through this process? So it's not just the methodology of the research, it's the methodology of making you a researcher. Right?
Yeah.
So that's something
Yeah.
different.
And actually, you saying about the heart and the head and the strengths and the difficulties and that, and putting it in art. I'd actually thought about that because I've started a painting. What I was trying to there's the models of Brofenbrenner's thing, and attachment stuff and that, but they're all very Eurocentric, and other things that have been developed are pretty much adapt what was there, and I was trying to, so I played around with like stuff from the Tree of Life so that it had, the connection to the land and the ancestors and everything through the roots. And that, yeah, you could do strengths and that just like they do, but that maybe in a tree form. And then I was thinking, maybe you could do an island or something, and like everyone's sort of contained within that. But yeah, so I've been playing around with these ideas, and then last night I was thinking, now what I can do is just put some sort of line down the middle of this, and one side will be this and one side will be that. And yeah. So yeah, but it is how my brain thinks, like, and when I was coming, yeah, having to look at strength stuff and different words for it and that, and like how language makes a difference in what we do, so and how stuff is perceived, and yeah. So
Yeah.
yes.
I think the linguistics of what we are all doing is very important. Like for Doug, I know from when I did my postgrad in sustainability, taking people on steps of just a journey of incremental steps, because if they hear
Yeah.
too many alarming words about climate change, they shut down and they become climate deniers. So
Yeah.
that's how it fits into yours, Doug. But yeah, Anne Marie, absolutely. The words, well, our language matters. That was one of the NAIDOC slogans a couple of years ago. Our language matters, and it absolutely does.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so even stuff like like how you refer to the participants of your research and your data and your like you yeah, and like who owns it, and
Yeah.
it's getting deeper and deeper in the rabbit hole.
As is supposed to be. Remember that a PhD is 1
Yeah.
meter wide, 10 meters deep. So stay in that rabbit hole. Yeah. And Tara is facilitating a
Yes.
women's forum. Is that?
Saturday morning.
Thank you, Saturday morning. Yep. And I know that there are a couple of researchers who have done Indigenous children. So that might be really interesting for you to go to, Anne Marie.
Oh, okay.
So
It's
do
on
you
some
follow?
ungodly hour.
Oh,
Oh,
what
is
time is
it?
it?
I think it's about 5 o'clock my time or 5:30 my time in the morning.
Yeah, okay. So
So
that
hopefully
must
it's
be,
recorded.
yeah, she records everything. Yeah.
But it goes for nearly 6 hours, so it's a long recording.
Yeah. There's lots and lots of different presenters. So she
Yeah,
might just present those sessions, maybe.
I
Record
hope
the
she does the
session.
whole
Yeah.
thing. But yeah. Oh, did I tell you guys that I've got a meeting with a potential supervisor for a PhD on the 26th, I think, of March
No,
at
for the
at
PhD,
Flinders
not for the
Uni.
masters.
No, but another degree, a
Yep, okay.
PhD. Yeah, at Flinders.
Yeah.
So go back there. It's she's in human geography. Yeah. And she not majors, but she focuses on homelessness,
Okay.
which is where I'm going to center my not new approach, but my new focus on like again, homelessness, homelessness, homelessness,
Yeah.
yes, and climate change in Adelaide,
Yeah.
primarily from the point of view from the homeless service providers and how they're going to adapt to climate change and how that's going to impact on their client base.
Well, I have never read anything about that, so that is fascinating.
I hope it remains like that.
Yeah.
But that's
Wow.
not till 27.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting. There was a comment this morning on Facebook when they had all the stuff about the cyclone
Mm.
coming that direction, and someone just asking, like what are they doing for the homeless
Yeah,
people?
Mm.
Yeah, so yeah, that would be.
because that could cause quite a few deaths if they're not provided with places to go and shelter.
Yeah. It's also their goods washing into the
Yes,
ocean and to creeks.
yeah,
And because of the transient nature of their living style, or
yep.
they're forced to live like that, they have a lot of plastics. So we know
Mm,
that plastics in the ocean are a very bad thing. Yeah,
yeah,
so this is very fascinating. And I notice every time I go back to far north Queensland, there's more and more people living along hello, Anne Marie's frozen again. More and more people living along
Isn't
creek
again.
beds. Oh, yeah,
Uh,
there she
yep,
is.
here
Yeah,
I come back again.
yeah.
Um, so the book Boy Swallowed Universe.
Universe. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was another book by the same author.
Lola in the Mirror.
Um,
He's Trent has written many books.
yeah, it might have been the Mirror one. Someone in the Mirror. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Lola in the Mirror. Yeah,
Lola in the Mirror, that's
yeah,
it. Um, yeah, and it's got about along the Brisbane River and
yeah,
flooding and
yeah,
mm.
storms and stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That
yeah,
was yeah.
I noticed one of the Queensland councils has implemented a bylaw to get rid of homeless campers in the parklands. So they're sending the police in to clear them out.
At Roma Street Parklands in Brisbane, is that what you mean? Or
Could have been. It made the news headlines somewhere.
okay, didn't see, but it was in Brisbane.
It was in Queensland.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think in
NPARK.
Redcliffe, somewhere they were doing that too, but people
Mm.
didn't have anywhere else to go,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It was the LA Olympics back in the 80s. They changed the park seats so they'd be on an angle. Angle, so the homeless couldn't sleep on them. They'd roll off.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah,
I thought
but
you were going to say they changed them so they were these wavy ones that are
no,
made
they made them so
sleeping
they just
on.
couldn't play on them. Couldn't. Yeah, they just fall off.
When I went down to the AASW conference in Melbourne, I caught up with my daughter one evening and we went for a walk, all along the river, and the music was blaring. It was loud. And I said to Jade, "What's this about? Like, why so loud?" And she just looked at me and she said, "So homeless won't sleep here."
Mm,
It's very sad.
it is.
And particularly when we look now at what's happening with our economy and the rental crisis. Like,
Mhm.
not only are rents exorbitant, but people can't find anywhere. And
No.
I have two of my children at the moment are desperately trying to change their living conditions and living circumstances. So, looking for alternative accommodations, and it's very, very difficult. Now, my girls they're educated, they're workers, they're good, decent, clean people. And this is not about deserving and undeserving. It's
No.
about ability to care for a property and to
Mhm.
also pay for the property. But yeah, very, very difficult.
My honours convener said the only time he used the word doctor on an application was when he put it in for a housing application. Was that he put himself down as a doctor, and he thinks that helps him get it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, I'm
So.
going to overuse my title, like Dr. Love. If Paul can be Doc Martin, I can be Dr.
Yes.
Love. Yeah. I am going to use Dr. Bayliss, the bibliotherapist, as part of my marketing.
Mhm.
And you two have probably heard what my ultimate dream is of owning this wonderful big Georgian mansion. And I want to run retreats, but I want to run bibliotherapeutic weekends or weeks where people come and they read and they discuss the ideas in books. So that's where I want to take my PhD. I want to extend into the retreat area. Yeah, and Paul's looking at all of the Georgians that I'm looking at, and he's going, "How much do you reckon this PhD is going to bring you financially?"
You might have to sell a kidney or two.
Sorry.
You might have to sell a kidney or two.
Yeah.
For RFDS, a master's gets you an extra 2,000 a year, and a PhD will get you an extra 5,000 a year. And that's only because we fought for it. It used to get you nothing.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What about for somebody that never wants to work for another institution in my life? Like
Mm.
Well,
I'm a great
charge
boss.
for it.
Yeah. I have to ask myself for a rise. Like, me, come on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what was that book? Did the about being the someone's got to be the most expensive.
Oh yeah, Andrew Griffith's book.
Yeah.
Why not make it you? Here it is.
Yeah.
Someone has to be the most expensive. Why
Expensive.
not make it you? Yeah.
There you go. There's your money.
So Andrew Griffiths has been a little bit quiet just recently. So Andrew Griffiths, I don't know if you're aware of who he is, Doug. He's Australia's leading business writer.
He's on LinkedIn, isn't he?
He's
You follow him and
he's
you
another.
went to his Hobart thing.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. He's another one of those men that I'm going to marry when I grow up. Like lovely, lovely man. Yeah. So I've known Andrew. I first met him when I first came home from London. So I've known him for over 20 years, right?
Mm.
Very nice man. And he has been a little bit quiet. And I just thought, oh, he's gone up to the top of Tasmania where he goes to write. He's producing another book. Wrong. He was feeling a little bit tired and he went to the doctor for his usual checkup and he failed the stress test. And then he had the Enneagram and he failed the Enneagram. So he went from there to the hospital. He had triple bypass surgery and he was,
Whoa.
oh, yeah, yeah. So he's a very, very lucky man. Yeah.
Mm.
And he's just pushed back a lot of the retreats that he does
Yeah.
because he has to recover. But yeah, this is a very interesting book. I don't read it as business. I read it as self-esteem. And you have to be good at what you do.
Mm.
So the PhD gives us that. If we are really going 10 meters deep on a single topic, we are expected to have laser focus and knowledge that other people don't have on that topic. So just recently I said to somebody, oh, I know more about Gramsci than my supervisors do. It's really weird. And they looked at me and they said, you're supposed to, you're at the end of your PhD, like you're becoming an expert on Gramsci, not them. Oh, got it. Yeah. But while we're talking about books, don't forget our next book on the 19th. So what are we? Today's the 3rd.
Yeah.
The Wartime Book Club.
You've got a lot to answer for, actually.
I know I do. Yeah, and this is
Because I listened to that one and I really enjoyed it. So I had to listen to the little library.
Yeah, a little London
one.
library, whatever
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
yeah. So I had to listen to that.
Yeah.
And then now I'm on the sewing room
Oh, yes. Yeah, yeah.
So you have got a lot to answer for.
Do you love her style then, Anne-Marie?
I do. I don't like some of the reading, particularly the first one. I wasn't fussed on the
This one?
person reading it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't fussed on the person reading it. The other ones are fine.
Oh, sorry, on Audible. Yes. Okay.
Yes, yeah, because
Oh, what have I missed? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been audibling them. I wouldn't have got through them reading them.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen to them and but yes. So
How long
many
did it
hours
take
of
to
my
listen to
time
the-
is
Sorry, Anne-Marie, how long did it take to listen to the book club book?
I think one was like 12 hours or something.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, around that sort of time.
yeah, because I've seen the Wartime Book Club book
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. In Adelaide somewhere, and I was quite in picking it up. But yeah, I've got some credits on Audible. I might just use and
Yeah.
get it done.
What I do on Audible is I like to listen and read at the same time.
Yeah.
So if I can buy the book, I always will. I like to have a relationship with a book. I like the feel of books. I like the smell of them. I like
Yeah.
seeing them on my bookcase. I like opening boxes when I move, going, oh, there's that book. Like, oh. Yeah, so I like the semantic feelings that go with books, the semantic and the semantics that go with books, right? But I listen at minimum 1.5. Sometimes it's 1.7 speed, but mostly it's 1.5 while I'm reading. So you actually get through it quicker.
Yeah.
And it tells you how many hours you've got left.
Mhm.
You can set Audible to help to, play for half an hour and then switch off automatically if you're listening to it as you go to sleep.
Okay.
I don't do that because I like to hear every word.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with a lot of my PhD style books, I write notes. So I
Yeah.
need to be like fully conscious for that, obviously.
Yes.
But Anne-Marie, do you remember the Bambi stuff in this?
Yeah,
No?
vaguely.
It hasn't grabbed you, but that's all right. You have
Yeah.
to wait and buy my book when my book comes out. So because Bambi will be in it.
Yeah. No, I do remember Bambi popping up, but I just
I don't know where it is.
can't actually think of the what it was in relation to.
So Bambi,
Was that
Life
the
in
book
the
burning?
Forest. Sorry.
Was that about book burning?
Yes, yes, it was
Yeah.
about so it was written by a Jew, Kurt Lewin, I think the author was. And he wrote Bambi as an encoded message to to other Jews,
That's right. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So it was a warning to them, like go and hide in the forest because, the Nazis are coming. Anyway, the Nazis got a hold of it and they burnt every single book that they could find. And of
Mm.
course, Kurt Lewin had already fled. But when Disney got a hold of it, Disney dramatized it and romanticized it, and Bambi became a completely different story, same
Yeah.
as Mary Poppins did. So Mary Poppins was actually written by a bisexual woman who she was born in a bank at Maryborough, Queensland.
Mm.
So her dad was a drunk bank manager, a drunk manager. He was that too. Yeah. So she has saved her children. The author saved her brother and sister from their father, but also from their neurotic mother. And she used to save them by telling them these wonderful stories about getting on horses that would fly away. And that's where she got the idea for the carousel horses in Mary Poppins. So she moved to London to escape her family, moved to
That
London.
one does.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I got married at 18 to escape mine. I then got divorced, yeah. But had my own family to look after. Um, Long story short, she wrote Mary Poppins as a warning to the middle classes to be able to look after their own children. Like your children need your attention. Nannies are not the people for your children, and nannies often do mean things to children without you even realizing. Right? So come on, wake up to your senses, look after your own kids. But again, Disney got a hold of it and
Yeah.
dramatized and he romanticized it. So I do like the modern day stories of Bambi and Mary Poppins, but I also absolutely value what the authors have tried to do. Yeah, and I will honor that. Yeah.
Mm.
It was really interesting, like reading that, and the timing of it. So when I was down in Cairns with Kirsty after she'd had the operation and looking after Jace, she Jace and I were at McDonald's and we're talking about banned books. And so she's what, 13 and a half. And we were, yeah, talking about all the different books that had been banned by different countries and that sort of thing over the years. And then we ended up Googling and finding out more. And yeah, but it was really interesting that, yeah, we'd done this just sort of not long before, yeah, reading this book.
Yeah. So in 20 years' time, our grandkids are going to be talking about the books that Trump has banned.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
well, we were
horrible what's happening.
looking at those too, and we were going through all the banned books that she'd actually read already because she's an avid reader.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, good for her. See, that's reading to resist if she's reading
Yeah.
the books. Yeah. Oh, look, we've got a little revolutionary on our hands.
Oh,
Go, girl.
she so is, hey, like, yeah.
But I know from when I was a kid, if my parents told me no, I couldn't do something, I
You
was
do
really
it.
curious. So I wanted to,
Yeah.
I wanted to do it to find out what are you talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't think that banning and saying no works. And
No, no.
it also forces people to go underground, which is dangerous. For
Mm.
God's sake, that's why we have needle exchanges and,
Mm.
containers in toilets for people to put their needles in, because it's about harm minimization rather than going underground and sharing dirty needles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I found this bit on Bambi and I will read it. It's only one paragraph, right? Bambi, A Life in the Woods by Felix Salten. This is a sweet story about a young deer who finds love and friendship in a forest. But the original tale of Bambi, adapted by Disney in 1942, has much darker beginnings as a novel about persecution and anti-Semitism in 1920s Austria. The Jewish author's book was banned by the Nazis in 1935, who burned it as Jewish propaganda. Salton fled Austria in 1938. He sold the film rights for US $1,000 to an American director who sold them on to Disney. He never earned a penny from the adaptation and died in Zurich in 1945, alone and with no place to call home. Isn't that
Mm.
sad? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. All right.
Sweet little Bambi.
Sorry?
Sweet little Bambi.
Yeah, sweet little Bambi. Yeah. I remember seeing that at the movies when I was very young, and I cried when Bambi's mum got shot.
Yeah, I had it as a little golden book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this one is on the 19th of March, and we have another change that I'll just very quickly tell you about. So the Sisterhood Paradox was going to be, maybe it was in May, but the author will attend, but she can't attend in May. So she's going to attend in June. So I'm just pushing that book out till June. So I need to find another book for May. If anybody has any recommendations, happy to hear them. Yeah. All right, then, my little cherubs, we need to end up because we are at the top of the hour.
Yeah.
It's always very, very nice to be with you and share with you. Thank you. Yeah. And Anne-Marie, I've thought a lot about what you said. Like, am I going to keep this going once my PhD is done? Which
Yes.
is, I'm handing it in June to the editor, August to the university, and I am graduating on the 6th of November in Nhulunbuy if you guys want to come.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's happening. But the answer is yes. I absolutely will keep it going because I think this is really valuable to social work as a profession and not just to the three of us as researchers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
All right, my dears.
Good.
Thank you. And I'll see you all next Monday.
Yeah,
You
will
will.
do.
Thanks,
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.